These videos are not financial advices. Everything shared here is simply what I'm personally doing, and it's provided for educational purposes only. Please remember, you are fully responsible for your own money and your own trading decisions. Hello everyone, welcome back to another trading session. Today, I will take a couple of trades. Let me just take my first trade right here. This is a very nice gap down, and this is a good decision point for me. And it has market sequence, that's why I took this. But the main trade that I will take on this chart is going to be this QM down here. So I don't mind losing that trade. Honestly, I just wanted to take the gap. So this is a QM, right? This is QM, low, high, low, low, high, high. QM is one of the most famous setups. And if you want to know more about this, basically know everything about this, you can watch this video from the first link in the description. Yeah, this is a QM setup, QM pattern. Basically, we check higher time frame for the confirmations. Once you detect the pattern like this is the pattern. You mark the zone, just like I did. And then, let me see if this trade, oh my god, this trade was a losing trade. Anyways, you can detect the higher time frame confirmation like this. And then you go to the lower time frame to detect the entry. Now, entries are fresh supply and demand areas, and this just like this is a fresh supply. You wouldn't normally see that fresh supply in 1 minute chart, but if you go to lower time frame, you see the chart with more detail. And if you look, this is a fresh supply. And if the market comes to this zone, oh no, come on. If the market comes to that zone, I will enter. Oh shit. Let me just take double, triple. This is so beautiful. Yeah. This is how QM trade looks like. Usually your entry should be below the QM zone. And this setup basically has 70% winning ratio if you've done everything right. If you don't do the things right, if you do not check the higher time frame confirmation in lower time frame entries, you'll be in trouble, okay? You have to have higher time frame confirmation. 3 minutes, see? The setup itself and the entry is inside the body of the engulf. Where's the body of the engulf? This is the body of the engulf. The entry and the zone should be inside after marking them on 1 minute. And then you go to 30-second first and see if there's any entry below. This is a fresh supply. You mark it. You can go even lower to have a smaller zone. The reason why I took multiple trades on this one is because of this doji, okay? Some of the traders, some of the people I know, they call this doji king. It's basically one of the key dojis in the market, okay? It usually happens when you have a QM or these kind of advanced setups, and it's some kind of entry. You see the reaction from this area. If this lines up with your entry zone that you marked, okay, the overlap of these two will be the best area to get into your trade. This is the overlap of this area. And see, this area was where I put multiple entries right here. The rejection will happen. Okay, so there's not a single setup in the chart that can give you more than 90% or 80% of a winning ratio. Do not look for it. There's no holy grail in this market. It really ups to you as traders to make the setups work. I see some people say a certain setup doesn't work, or they say DrGrand, QM doesn't work. And I wonder how much experience you have in this market to even say that, because the phrase QM doesn't work, it's not a correct sentence, because QM and any other setup in trading, not only binary, in Forex too, they are there to not work. You have to make them work. That's why we have confirmations, we have lower time frame entries. If you go to the chart, take every setup, of course there'll be a lot of failing setups that they can make you lose your money. So you cannot just say that the QM doesn't work. The setups itself, without confirmations, they're not going to work, okay, no matter what. One of the ways that we can make money in trading in binary is combining different regions for better results. For example, here, third touch breakout is about to happen. But if I take this and expect every time for this to work, that's not a logical thing to think about, okay? And then if it doesn't work, I cannot go around and say that the third touch breakout doesn't work, okay? Because I have to take the proper trade. And in long term, if you take the proper trade, it means that you're making the setups work. Okay, the setups itself, they're not supposed to work, right? Otherwise, everybody on this planet would be rich. Okay, so that's really depends on the traders, not the setups. Okay, let's see. If this third touch breakout happens, I have to look what else we have here. We have an ABC here. This is called ABC. So if this breakout happens, we not only have a third touch breakout, we also have an ABC breakout. This is called combination. Okay, we combined ABC breakout with the third touch breakout. Now, sometimes instead of this ABC, we have a doji right at the middle. It makes it even stronger. Sometimes we have color patterns. Okay, sometimes we have the breakout happening, and then the next candle opens with a huge gap down, right? That makes the trade strong. Sometimes, beside this huge gap down, see this gap down? Gap down is always in the favor of buyers. We also come down and we have market's common point of rejection. And instead of entering here, we wait for the price to come to below the common point of rejection line, okay? And then we enter right here with margin of safety. So, sometimes, with having the common point of rejection, we also have a fresh demand right down here. Maybe a QM, right? So entering here is the smartest way to take this trade, instead of just going to the chart and saying, all right, this is third touch breakout. Oh, it broke. Let's just take it. Okay? There's a difference between experienced traders and the beginners. Beginners usually don't see the market in details, and that's the only reason that long term they're losing. Okay? So the setup itself is not there to work for you. No one is here to make you rich. You have to be smart and make the setups work. The setups itself, they're not supposed to work, okay? You can do this with the simple, like a support and resistance trading, okay? Support and resistance trading is the classic way of trading from 100 years ago. It has been there. People used to trade like this. They would draw the areas in the market that has respected before, okay? And they would trade in that direction. They would say, okay, this respected first time. Now, it respected second time. Next time, probably it's going to respect, so I'm going to sell here. I'm not going to look at anything else. Okay, this is a classic way of trading. There's millions of ways of trading in this market. Okay? And you may wonder, is this still profitable to trade classic support and resistance? It's not supposed to be profitable. And even back then, people, if you blindly would selling here, long term you wouldn't be in profit. This is very important. And right now, if you trade this smartly, you can still make money with classic support and resistance trading. Okay? So please understand, change your mindset about trading. The trading setups are not there to work for you. You have to make them work. You have to be smart. Okay, now we have this QM right here. Let's see. Do you see engulf? Yes. Higher time frame engulf. Let me mark the QM zone. This is the QM zone. Oh shit. This is the QM zone. Come on. But I want to make this small. Okay. This is the QM zone. We have the engulf. This is the body of the engulf. the zone is inside the body of the engulf. Now, go to lower time frame. We want an entry in lower time frame. Do you see any fresh zone here? No. Let's go to 5 second. Do you see any? I don't see any here, but I see one up there. Okay, this is how it looks. Now, let's make this setup work. Let's check the 3-minute time frame again. The entry, this is the body of the engulf, right? Let me mark the body of the engulf. I'll make this blue. Now, if you look, this red zone is right at the edge. Okay, it's right at the edge. The middle, this, the more this entry is in the center of this body, it has more chance to be a winning trade. Okay. Now, is this a high risk QM? I would say yes. This is a high risk QM trade. So if you take this and you lose this, if you say that QM doesn't work, that's not a correct sentence. You didn't take the right QM. And even if you take the right QM, there's not a single setup in the chart that give you 100% winning ratio or 90% winning ratio. Okay. In the best case scenario, this is going to give you 70% winning ratio. The question is this enough? Of course, 70% winning ratio is the optimal winning ratio to be profitable. All right, I hope it was useful, the explanation. We have this little doji break. All right, now look at this doji. This is a doji. We know that after breaking a doji like this, we can expect retracement. Now, would it be smart to just take the trade without looking at the chart and take this trade right after seeing this breakout? Of course not. Doing that in long term will not be profitable. Now, what if I try to add this confluence? Okay, if you add this confluence, you can see that you are in a ranging market. That every candle has some kind of rejection. Now, if this doji break had happened here, now you're looking for buys. The market, you wait, market comes below this line, so you can expect rejection, and then you enter right below this line with safe entry. And then, if the candle closes as a red one like this, you would still win the trade because you entered down here. And this component of rejection would help you to win that trade. But normal people would say, if the candle would be green, normal people would say, okay, doji breaks doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, so let's move on. Look at this beautiful. This is the trade that I missed. I was about to record this video. This is a trade I missed. And yeah, this is a very beautiful decision point. Look. Respected resistance. And then, right before breakout, we have this demand zone. This demand zone right here acts like a 3-minute QM confirmation. Let's go back to a lower time frame. Look at this. This is a fresh demand. If you mark it, this would be your entry. And it would be this kind of rejection, which I missed. Sometimes we miss some good trades. Okay, this is a third touch breakout. Look, good example. If you look, this is a third touch breakout, first touch, second touch, higher high compared to previous high, correct? And then the breakout happened right here, but it didn't work. Somebody would take this trade and say, third touch breakout doesn't work. But in fact, you ignore the fact that this is a very strong momentum. Strong momentum is coming down, right? You taking a buy right here means that I don't care about the previous 10 candles which were red. I am expecting the market to give me a green one, which is, I don't know if this makes sense for you, but for me, it doesn't make sense to expect that. Okay? This is a big QM. Huge QM. Let me mark the QM. This is a huge QM. We have to look for 5-minute confirmation. Now in 5 minutes, you see this little engulf, but the zone itself is outside the engulf, so it's not a valid QM. Even if it worked, I would say it's not a valid QM. Yes, it worked. Look, this is the demand. It worked, but it's not a valid QM for me. Let's just move on. I think I talked too much. I don't know. You tell me in the comments if you like me to just trade or just talk. Let me just take this. Let me just take this with 1,000. I wanted to take this with 200 because I don't have any other confluence. But I'm just going to take this with 1,000. See, this is a common point of rejection. This is a good range for this. It was a loss, man. It was a loss, bro. Anyways, it was a good common point of rejection. I entered right here. And it was a losing trade. You may wonder why. Because, look, common point of rejection also, like other setups, it has a winning ratio from 65 to 70%. Now, if you just go to the chart and take all of the common point of rejections, at some point you will keep losing. But you have to, in order to take them, you have to add different confluences. Okay? In this case, we didn't have any other confluence. Now, if it gives me this as a red one, next candle, let me see how it opens. Okay. No, it still has gap down. This is some kind of exhaustion, but I don't have good level for me to take the buy. That's why this is not a good opportunity for me. I'll just move on. See, this common point of rejection combined doji break. It worked beautifully. Yeah, bro, I talk too much and I miss a lot of opportunities. Look, third touch breakout. See? Third touch breakout, doji right at the middle, combined with doji break, combined with round number and gap down. So this is beautiful. This is what I mean by beautiful trade. Especially the market is coming from QM zones. This is beautiful, guys. Oh my god, man. This was beautiful trade. The QM itself is somewhere that the bars can touch and enter, and then it's combined with this third touch breakout, which has doji right at the middle and also gap down, and it's starting from the round number level. These are the round numbers. Man, this was beautiful. This video is more of an educational video than live trading. If you compare that with this third touch breakout, first touch, second, the third touch, you will see the difference. Let me see which pair was that. Let me see which pair was that. Look, compare this one, this third touch breakout, okay, which have gap down. It has round number, start from round number, and also overall it's in the buying zone and doji right at the middle. Compare this with, compare it with this one. Both third touch breakout, but what else do we have here? Nothing. We're going against the momentum. You cannot expect to win this. That's crazy. Boys and girls, I'm sorry for interruption. We've created a very cool page for easy access to the most important videos on this channel. That's the first link in the description. Alright. I have a potential. Okay, it's already beautiful. I got 2 trades right here. This is a nice exhaustion candle. This is a nice exhaustion, beautiful candle. You can see the lack of buyers here. There's lack of buyers, and the bridge came to the game and act like a bridge. Exhaustion candles are bridge. They create a bridge between weak buyers and the seller's entry or supply. I was looking for market to give me another spinning candle like this, and then the next candle would come inside this supply and I would take the trade, but it gave me the exhaustion candle. This is one of the other beautiful setups that I could take today. Nice. Man, the market is beautiful. If you understand the market, I don't know, man, how to describe this. Nice. We took some good trades today. I hope this was useful. Just let me know in the comments if I talk too much or I have to just talk less and take more trades. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.